Yo, imagine you could make your own team. LeBron did.
Is an introduction really necessary for
LeBron did.
someone we all know so well?
Hey, Michael Murray. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. I don't know the stores are watching. White Sox should be born as a queen ant. Bless me. Like, comment, subscribe.
You
BFG
crack
symbol
open
right
your
next to my
egg
head.
among hundreds of sisters in a warm, dark chamber deep
Ooh.
underground.
Ooh.
You're not just any ant. You're born with a
I'm
silver spoon in
special.
your mandibles. You're destined to be royalty.
Yes,
Which
sir.
sounds great until you realize what that actually means in the ant world.
What I mean?
It's not all garden parties and tiny crowns. Unlike your
Yeah,
worker
I
sisters
get
who pop
workers.
out ready to start their 9-to-5 jobs, you emerge as a princess with wings. Yes, wings. But don't get too excited. They're basically your one-way ticket to the most dangerous blind date in history. You're bigger than your sisters, with a bulkier thorax packed with flight muscles and enough fat reserves to
big
make
boy.
a bear jealous. Think of
My
it as
big
nature's
boy.
version of apocalypse prepping, because trust me, you're going to need it.
That
Your
don't sound
first
too
few
bad
weeks-
though. Like I get to be a big ant in a world filled with little ants. I want to be a big ant.
They're spent being waited on by worker ants who stuff you with food like an Italian grandmother. They're
Oh.
preparing you for your big debut, the nuptial flight. It's like the
They're trying to
Bachelor
make me a torta.
meets American Ninja Warrior, except instead of a rose ceremony, you might get eaten by a bird. You wait in the nest.
Hey,
growing
all of us
stronger
could get
each
eaten
day
by
until the
birds.
perfect conditions arrive. Warm, humid air, usually
That's just
after
that's
rain.
just a, that's just a
nature's
lifestyle
way
we
of
chose
saying,
being
"It's
ants, you know.
showtime." When the signal comes, you and your fellow princesses emerge from the nest along with male ants from other colonies. The males, by the
Whoa.
way, are basically flying sperm delivery systems with an expiration
Whoa.
date of about 1 week. Talk about pressure. You take flight in what looks like a massive ant party in the sky. Birds
Alright.
swoop through the swarm like kids at a piñata party, but you dodge and weave, determined not to become a feathered friend's snack. Mid-flight, you attract several male suitors. They're not
Alright.
exactly Prince Charming, more like Prince in a hurry because their biological clock is ticking faster than a time bomb. You
Yo, do you
mate
think
with
it's fly
multiple males
too?
in midair, storing all their sperm in a special organ called a spermatheca. This sperm has to last you
So I'm just out here in the air, just fill me up, guys. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's crazy. That's
your
insane.
entire
That's
life.
not. That's
We're
not.
talking up to 30 years. It's like extreme
30
couponing, but
years?
with genetic material. Once you've collected enough sperm, around 250 million, because why settle, you drop to the ground and immediately start ripping off your own wings. Now comes the hard part. You need to dig yourself a tiny chamber in the soil, your starter home. No real estate agent, no mortgage, just you and your
What about the
mandibles digging
workers?
until you've carved out a cozy little space. Once inside, you seal yourself in. Welcome to the next phase of your life, solitary confinement. In your underground chamber, you start laying your first eggs. These will become your worker daughters, your first tiny workforce. But here's the catch. You can't leave to get food. Remember those fat reserves you stored up? That's all you've got to survive on while raising your first batch of workers.
Huh?
Yes, you read that right. Those beautiful wings you were so proud of, they're now about as useful as a chocolate teapot. You literally tear them off yourself, using them as fertilizer for your first batch of eggs. You even digest your wing muscles for extra nutrients. It's basically the ant version of surviving on your own body fat while running a daycare. You tend to these first eggs like they're made of gold, cleaning them constantly to prevent mold. When they hatch into larvae, you feed them with special eggs you lay just for food.
Aww.
Yes, you're feeding
Some
your babies
eggs-
their potential
yeah.
siblings.
Whoa.
Nature's weird like that.
That's my big-
These larvae eventually pupate and emerge as your first workers, but they're
Aye.
tiny, like really tiny. They're the
Aye.
ant equivalent of premature babies because you didn't have proper nutrition while raising them. But
What?
once these first workers mature, things start looking up. They dig their
I'll
way
be
out of the
eating if
chamber,
I was an
and
ant,
suddenly
though.
you've got help. They forage for food, expand the nest, and take care of your next batch of eggs. Finally, you can focus on your true calling, being an egg-laying machine. You can lay up to 1,500 eggs per day during peak season. That's one egg every minute, making human labor look like a casual Sunday stroll. Your colony grows exponentially, but don't break out the champagne just yet. Your tiny workers have to navigate a world that's basically a giant death trap. Rival colonies send raiders to steal your brood. Parasitic wasps
This
try to
this don't sound too bad, honestly. I get to own a kingdom. They're just telling me I just made my own team. Yo, imagine you could make your own team. LeBron did. LeBron did.
inject their eggs into your workers.
No.
and occasionally some workers get funny ideas about laying their own eggs. You have to release
Yo.
special pheromones to keep them in line. When they do try to sneak their eggs past you,
Come on, man.
Yeah,
your
you
loyal
need to go,
workers
bro.
turn into tiny police officers, destroying any eggs that aren't yours. Workers build new chambers, tend to the brood,
I'm the main
bring-
character here. None of you can be out here trying to. Only one queen in this bed. It's me, nigga.
you food.
It's me.
You're now basically a
It's
living
me.
vending machine, pumping out eggs of different types
It's
based
me.
on the colony's needs. Want workers? Regular fertilized eggs. Need males? Unfertilized eggs. Time for new queens? Special fertilized eggs with extra royal jelly. You control all of this by choosing when to use that stored sperm from your nuptial flight.
Oh, yeah.
Years pass, and your colony becomes
So
a
I
bustling
just
metropolis.
keep that in my system, bro. The whole lifetime, just keep that one time I had a little phase. That one time I was just out in the sky, letting whatever happened, and I gotta suffer the consequences. That don't sound too fair, does it?
Thousands of workers
That don't
scurry
sound too
about,
fair.
maintaining temperature and humidity, fighting off invaders, and keeping you well fed. You're now surrounded by royal attendants who feed you, clean you, and carry away your eggs. It's like having a full-time spa staff, except you can never leave the spa, ever. Your body has changed dramatically. Your abdomen is now enormously swollen with eggs, making you look like a tiny sausage with legs. You can barely move, but that's fine. Your job is to stay put and keep laying eggs. Your workers regulate everything about your environment,
Hey.
from temperature to humidity, treating you like a combination queen and egg-laying supercomputer. This is the mother ant royalty, where success means creating your own replacements, and loyalty
Hey,
lasts
birthing
exactly
don't
as
sound
long
too
as your
bad.
egg-laying ability.
It don't
At least
sound too
human
bad,
monarchs get
honestly,
to
bro.
retire to a nice castle somewhere. You get to watch the next generation literally grow up around you while your own body slowly shuts down. Now that's what you call succession planning. But here's the thing: while you're
Isn't that
stuck
what
in your
that's what
underground
happens if you're human, bro?
chamber playing living vending machine, your colony is part of something much bigger. You are the most
What?
successful species on Earth, a member of a society that's mastered sustainable agriculture, universal healthcare, and sophisticated communication millions of years before humans figured out how to make fire. Your workers farm fungi in carefully maintained gardens, tend to aphid herds like tiny shepherds, and run a healthcare system that would make any nation jealous, identifying infected colony members and treating them with antimicrobial secretions before diseases can spread. Your colony even masters the art of democracy without anyone ever casting a vote. When it's time to relocate, scouts explore potential new nest sites and recruit others to inspect them. Through a complex dance of pheromone trails and physical interactions, thousands of individuals reach consensus without a single committee meeting or PowerPoint presentation. It's like running a country where everyone actually agrees on things.
Ooh.
Imagine that. And let's talk about your construction.
Sound like a
crews.
hive
While
mind.
humans pat themselves on the back for building skyscrapers, your workers are engineering climate-controlled structures with sophisticated ventilation systems using nothing but dirt and tiny mandibles. They
I don't know. I feel like the human one's a little more sturdy. I don't know. I seen a few anthills and they didn't look too strong. They look very cookable. Yo, I seen a massive anthill one time. Was like fucking like this big, bro. This big. I could even step on it, bro. It's too beautiful.
create living bridges with their own bodies to cross gaps, form rafts to survive floods, and build pressure-regulated chambers that would make NASA engineers jealous. All of this without a single architectural degree or building permit. Your colony achieves all this through swarm intelligence. No middle management required. Each worker knows their role and performs it perfectly, creating a superorganism that's greater than the sum of its
How
parts.
do they do that,
While
though?
human societies debate the merits of different political systems, your colony hums along with the efficiency of a well-oiled machine powered by nothing more than instinct and pheromones.
That don't
It's
sound
like
too
running a
interesting,
Fortune
though. That don't
500
sound like they
company
got
where
a
every
lot of
employee
like creativity, bro. It just sounds like, bro. It just sounds like they all have the same mind. It's like, look at them, all these NPCs, same nigga. Who this genre is that, John? They all look the same. Y'all get
actually
called the
knows
same
what they're
thing too.
doing, and nobody wastes time in meetings talking about synergy. As you age, your egg-laying capacity gradually decreases. The sperm you
Okay.
stored decades ago starts running low. Turns out even
Decades.
250 million isn't infinite. Your workers still care for you, but you notice them getting antsy. They're starting to raise new queens, preparing for your eventual replacement. It's
Aw.
like watching your retirement party being planned while you're still at work. After
It's
2 or
okay.
3 decades, if you're lucky, your reign comes to an end.
Fair.
Your egg-laying slows to a trickle and finally stops. The colony you built from scratch, the empire you created from nothing but your
Push
own
me
body
out.
fat and determination, will soon be led by a new queen. You've laid millions of eggs, built a society from scratch, and never once seen the sun again after your nuptial flight. As you feel your strength fading, worker ants still tend to you, programmed by evolution to care for their mother until the end. Your legacy lives on in the
At
complex
least you see, you know what? At least they didn't abandon me. At least I was thinking maybe the workers are gonna like kick me out the crib because I can't make no more eggs. But yeah, they still mess with me. I'm your mom's. I birthed the whole colony.
network
That's
of
crazy.
tunnels and chambers you'll never see, in the thousands of workers still following the chemical trails you helped establish.
Hey, they just sound like
and in the new queens who will
NPCs.
soon
I'm the
take
only
flight
main
to start
character
the
in this
cycle
bit.
all over again. In the end, you've lived the ultimate paradox, a life of supreme importance spent in perpetual confinement, a royal ruler who's really more of a prisoner, a mother to millions who never really got to know any of her children. But that's
It's a
life
price
as a
to
queen
pay,
ant.
bro.
It's not about the glamour or the glory. It's about keeping the colony going, one egg at a time, until the very end.
I did my job. Sounds good though. Y'all think you'd be an ant if you could? I feel like I'd miss the ants. I miss the ants right now. See y'all next one. Hope y'all like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.